Evening, morning, and afternoon. Well, right now, for here in Georgia, it's really the evening. And it's Monday, April 15th, the day before, who's dropping right now in Mortal Kombat? Ermac
Mm-hmm.
comes out. Look, Ermac and Movado, if nobody knew that. But anywho, of course, we're doing Spider-Man stuff. That's what I really wanted to do on this channel, but I don't mind doing other stuff. Right now, I actually want to talk to the comic book community specifically about one character, Miles Morales. I have a question. Do y'all hate this man? Like, I genuinely want to know. I've had this conversation before in the past, but it was never really to where you hate the character because he's either taking the spotlight of another, or the fact that, and I hate to be a little racist about it, is because he's black. And it
And
didn't hit.
Afro Latino mix.
Same thing, but all I'm saying is, like, everybody see the main color, and I ain't trying to be racist or nothing about it. But I'm just asking a genuine question, like, do y'all not like Miles? Do y'all hate Miles? Or do y'all not know where to read for this character? Or what? I want to know what's really the issue about this character. Because in my mind, it's cool to have characters that either partner up or break off, like, from the mythos of a character. Like, if it wasn't for Batman, you won't have Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, Batgirl, and a couple others. If it wasn't for the Avengers, you wouldn't have, like, say, Black Panther, Ant-Man. Well, even though Ant-Man was a solid official member back in the day, but if it wasn't for characters like that, you wouldn't got other Avengers to join the team. Like, okay, probably not my best analogy. What's a better analogy? Okay, if you didn't have Superman, you wouldn't have got Superboy, Supergirl, Steel, and a couple others, like, so on and so forth. Like, you understand what I'm saying? When I say mythos, which I know this isn't even the literal definition, this is like the cornerstone of this particular character's entire run and everything that has happened from the beginning to now. So, for example, like, we have talked about Spider-Man on this channel constantly. So, from 1962 all the way to now, that is considered the Spider-Man mythos because of all the trials, the journey, the characters, the villains, the lessons, everything that has happened with just this one particular character happened to everything else. Like, for example, we got the Spider-Verse. If it wasn't for Spider-Man, we wouldn't have the Spider-Verse. Like, that particular mythos. So, on the topic of Miles, what's wrong with my boy? I want to know, because I genuinely like Miles, bypassing the fact that he is an African Latino character, which I'm saying only for her purpose and for other purposes alone, and just in general, he has his own particular style to the Spider-Man mythos. Because out of everybody else, he has extra powers. Now I know you're gonna be like, "Oh, Miguel got powers." Yeah, I know, but they're not like Miles. Almost every other Spider-Man has the same exact power set, except for Miles. This man can turn invisible. He has the ability to control electricity, generate it, like, absorb it, release it. Look, he can, like, now make freaking swords out of it. Look, I would happily, genuinely help anybody who wants to either read up on this character, figure out where to start, and maybe instead of just watching the movies, like, get deeper into the character. Like me myself, after the first movie and the game, I had to go deeper into this character because I'm like most of y'all, I was a diehard Peter Parker fan. I still am. But then I'm like, you know what? Like, in the words of King Lion, you need to learn how to read up on your people. And I ain't trying to be racist or nothing, but he has a point. Because as long as I thought, some of these characters I thought would never win a fight. But as I dug deep into characters like Black Panther, Luke Cage, Storm, I found more and more details that I was not shown in TVs, movies, or video games. Like, for example, I didn't know Storm was a god. Like, dead off the bat. She is a born goddess. We did not know that. And the reason why we didn't know that is because we didn't read the books. I didn't know Black Panther has beaten at least 90% of everybody he's ever encountered in Marvel. He beat Captain America on their first encounter. He beat the Hulk without any tech and barely any weapons. He beat Thor in a hand-to-hand combat. And he took even Mjolnir because his entire bloodline is worthy of the frickin' hammer. He's beat Spider-Man on numerous occasions. He's beaten Tony in and out of the armor. He even killed Tony in another universe. He's bested Black Widow. He almost defeated Shang-Chi in a hand-to-hand combat fight. And by my knowledge, I don't know if Shang-Chi ever trained Black Panther. I just know he trained Captain America and a couple others, and including the Iron Fist. Look, Black Panther. My bad. Black Panther defeated the Iron Fist, but one of the most dangerous fighters in Marvel. He's defeated Doctor Doom, Namor, and anybody else has ever tried to challenge him in Wakanda or take his throne, or even his kingdom. He even defeated Killmonger in the future and in the past. This man has a whole entire galaxy. So for Miles, this man has beaten Spider-Man, his own friend, and a brother he considered in numerous fights. He's held his own against some of the toughest foes and even friendly heroes he's fought against. This man fought against a mutated freaking Green Goblin that killed Peter Parker in his universe. Mind you, this Green Goblin has the ability to control fire out of his mouth. He's even shot fire lasers out of his freaking eyes. This man can fly, and he has literal goblin-like scale dragon skin. So his darn skin is darn near bulletproof. I'm saying darn near because, shield. But Miles, this man fights him on a numerous basis. And I feel a little bad for Peter, but what you want me to say? Miles, I hate to say it, is Peter's superior. But Peter trained him in every way he could. With all his gadgets, with all his knowledge and everything, Miles just took it and made it better. This man is now studying music tech in this game. Without Miles, Peter would have never found a way to beat the symbiotes. I'm just being frank about it. I'm being real 100% about it. If it wasn't for Miles in this game, Peter probably either would have got corrupted or killed. And I love Peter, I really do. But I do love Miles just because he takes things to a different level, or he puts it in a way where Peter would have never thought about it. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I like Miles, and I don't understand the hate this character gets. This man was cool enough to get 2 movies. They working on a 3rd one right now, and I hope it ain't trash. But Sony has a way of sticking their hands in things when they make projects. But this character alone, just Miles alone, has shaken the web as a character. This man, even in another universe, and I think even his own universe, was dating Gwen Stacy, knowing technically they're not supposed to be doing that because they could destroy all fabric of reality. This man has taken on Miguel O'Hara and almost died, but he still won the fight. He's fought other Spider-Men in the entire Spider-Verse at least once, or trained with them in some form or some fashion. Even the movie portrayed this, and there were hundreds of versions of Peter Parker. None of them could stop him. Frankly, this man is a little OP at this point. He even had enough juice in him to try and take on the Avengers. For some reason, a lot of Spider-Man have this ability to just take on characters you would never think they would ever take on.
They ever had the eyes in the back of their head, remember?
I get the spider sense thing, but how people be like, oh, you put Iron Man against anybody, he can win. For some reason, Peter Parker has even disabled and used and hacked his armor before even in the midst of a fight. And there are times where Iron Man himself has admitted that he don't understand how Spider-Man can do all this stuff. Thor himself admitted that he is literally amazingly to be in Valhalla if he ever fallen in battle. Cap at one point was probably the most worst one because he thought Peter could never be an Avenger. Then this man took a bullet from him from the Punisher and moved him out the way. Cap carried him for a time, but Peter had to get up because he had stuff to do. He didn't even feel like going to a hospital. And he died. And guess who was at his funeral and got slapped the mess out of? Captain America. Man got slapped by Peter's own auntie because he told Peter he could never be an Avenger. Bruh. I ain't gonna lie. I think that was the lowest point in Captain America's history, but in the Ultimate comic books. But hey, that's another story for another day. But Miles, I just don't understand the hate. If y'all can tell me what it is, I'm happy to listen. If y'all need help finding out where to read, I will dig it for myself so you can get a head start. Believe me, I've already read 2 series with Miles. One of them is incomplete because of a misdirection with the books that my girlfriend was a little at fault for that, but she didn't know it was Christmas. Everything worked out, so I'm going to find the book later. The other series I have fully completed, hence most of the Clone Saga and stuff. which y'all had seen me do a video on some of his other outfits that I have not covered. And yes, there are still parts of King in Black that Miles is a part of. I have not got those other books, and my brother even warned me there are 8 books in total for the King in Black if I do graphic novels. He does solo issues, so it's gonna take him forever. But me, I do graphic novels. I have the King in Black, so I think I have either 7, maybe 6 more left to collect before I get to Miles' actual story in that book. And of course, he's a part of the Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon, Edge of Spider-Verse, which they did a couple of stories with Miles, and so on and so forth. And yes, there aren't that many Elseworld stories for him right now. They have Wolverines, they have Thors, they have Caps. I don't think there's an Iron Man version of them yet, but the What If stuff are really good, so I need to collect some of that.
Well, some, not all.
I said some for a reason, because we all know what happened with that Thor version. I don't understand the races behind it, but it's okay. All I remember is All Eyes on Me, and I'm like, God, man, really? We doing heavy Tupac references in this book? Now, don't get me wrong. The art style in the What If Miles was Thor was amazing. I do love how they had everybody in such shiny outfits, especially certain black people. I think what got me was hood version of Loki. That one really got me. Amazing green and gold mixture. Man was wearing a whole 2-piece suit. It was pretty smooth. Look, you should have seen the cuffs, shaped like lions, but it's okay. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments, because I want to know. What's wrong with Miles? Is it because he black?
Yeah.
Is it because his comic books you don't know where to read?
Yep.
Read. I will help y'all 100% figure out where to read. Just hit me up in the comments and comics. Hit me up in the comments and I'll tell y'all where to read. And I'll tell y'all which issue or graphic novel you need to grab. Because this character's been around since 2009. This is right after the Ultimate Universe was somewhat done. But they brought it back in Secret Wars and it went from there. Now the Ultimate Universe is its own set universe and they still do other stuff with it, yada yada yada. So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments. I'll catch y'all later on the flip side. Later, Websters.